Everybody, it's your girl, Janette Smith, your encourager, your certified life strategist and mindset coach. It is time for another Life Unscripted. So I want to thank you for joining me and being on the stream today. We are going to pick up where we left off a little bit. We talked about the walking wounded, a concept I introduced a couple of weeks ago, just wanting you to do a self-check and see if you fit into that category. And out of that came some really great dialogue from you in the form of questions and inbox messages just about self-care and how hard it is for some of you to even delve into the area of thinking about self-care. And so as we continue to do these segments, I'm calling them these empowerment nuggets, wrapped around social media chat. And it's just it's a share. It's a motivational tool for you to help you make better decisions for better living, but also to give me insight as well, because we can always learn from one another. So let's talk about this thing, self-care. Why should you care about self-care? I guess that would be the question, right? Why would you care about self-care? Well, first of all, everything that wraps up into the nugget of success where you're concerned is going to be tied to your purpose. The only way you can fulfill your purpose is that you're able to operate the highest level of yourself that you were created to operate in. You're not going to do that when you are depleted and when you are not taking care of yourself. And so self-care in that sense is the pathway to your success. A great motivator and thought leader, Rhon, used to say that your self-worth equaled your net worth, which I think is, brilliant. Because basically what we're saying is that you are your number one asset. If you don't take care of number one, nothing else matters. And as a life coach, I'll say that there are three main reasons that I see, four actually, that people don't really make self-care a priority. And the first thing is that they don't see themselves as a priority, not in the area of self-care. They don't make themselves a priority. Number two, they're busy earning a living. Everything is revolving around that next big thing, that next deal, that next level, whatever is going on, whatever, that heart hustle you're going after is just too important. So that number three, busy outside of work. It could be busy with kids or caregiving for elderly parents, just you name it, busy. And then lastly, some of us just were never really modeled or taught to take care of ourselves. That was just not something that was modeled for us. And so it's going to be hard for you to know how to go about that if you never really saw it done well or at all in your life. And so just want to do a check-in. I see some of you guys are on now, and I thought it would be interesting if we could kind of work together on this and see if you just type in the comment section there. And let's do self-check where you are, where you feel you are in the area of self-care. We could do it like a little inventory. So I'll ask you a couple questions, and you just choose a number on the scale of 1 to 5. And 1 would be the lowest, 5 would be the highest. And let's just kind of see where you are on a scale of 1 to 5. The first area would be your physicality. Energy levels in your body, your how you move, how often you move. Do you feel spry? Do you feel like you're thriving in the area of your physical nature? From 1 to 5, where would you see yourself? How would you rate yourself? Go ahead and type that in the comment section. And then the next area is spirituality. Your spirituality in the area of purpose and power connection to your higher source. For me, that's God. What is your rating in that area of connectivity, spiritual connectivity to yourself and to life? How would you rate yourself? A 1 to 5. Mental stimulation. Are you learning? Are you growing? Are you intellectually nurturing yourself? Are you utilizing your gifts and talents, as in hobbies, just for the sake of building yourself up? How do you rate in that area? I see a 3. I see you, Donna. How do you rate yourself in that area? Because most of us aren't going to come in at a 5. Not in every area. Most of us are going to rate ourselves about a 3, about the halfway point. Exactly. And so that's what I'm talking about. How do we take ourselves from a 3 to a 5? And even for those times when there are seasons where other things, other people, and other situations have to be a priority, how do we work into that an ability to push pause long enough to, maybe if you can't get a whole sabbatical, just to do enough to just fill the picture, just enough to keep going? Because what I'm finding is a lot of people are just wearing themselves out, and it's not even about, half full or half empty. It's about all the way empty. And so it's time to boss up, as they say, and make self-care a priority for you. Oprah says that she counsels people that your job is to figure out where your power base is and work on the alignment of your personality and your gifts with your purpose. And she says self-care is an important part of that. It's foundational because you have to fill yourself up. If you were, let me add that Oprah said that there was a time she was afraid of that. I see you, Tamara. I see you, Monique. The thought of saying to someone, yeah, I fill myself up, because what she didn't want to hear was, oh, you're full of yourself. And so because she had and held a fear of what other people thought of her by saying, I'm going to take some time to fill myself up, she would kind of push back on admitting to self-care or even, delving into self-care. But how many of you know, if you're running a network and you're making billions, you're doing some things that are going to require you to make self-care a priority. So I'm glad that she got that revelation that, your life is bigger than the things that you get bogged down into, and you have to make self-care a priority. I see 4 for Monique, and that's interesting because that's your area of expertise, physicality. So that makes sense. If you were with us the other day, this is some self-care right now. This is me with self-care. I love, love, love some ginger tea. So this is my moment of self-care right now. Okay, that's my moment. Hey Cheryl, I see you too. If you were with us the other day, when we were talking about the walking wounded. I shared in the check-in just last night, I believe, an email that I got from a woman who really does have a lot on her plate, who is trying to figure out how to balance several different weighty matters. They're all caregiver items. And so it's not like you can say, well, we'll just put this one down for a minute and we'll just, she really doesn't have that option. And what I thought was interesting about what she sent to me was the guilt surrounding self-care. And so I'm just going to put this back up. You don't have to read the whole thing. You can go check out the video on the check-in if you want to read the whole thing. I just want to look down at the bottom here where she says, it appears that I have the help I need. I need to learn not to feel guilty about doing things for myself. I think one of the issues is that I was taught to be a good girl and not be selfish, and that somehow taking care of yourself meant that you were selfish. There's a difference between being selfish and taking care of oneself. And I was so glad that she got that revelation that, it has nothing to do with being selfish. There is nothing you can give that you don't have. And so if you're not full of joy, you can't give joy. If you don't have love, you can't give love. If you don't have energy, you can't give help. And so I'm hoping that that's something that she's working on. And I just wanted to pose that question to you all. Is that an area where you feel like you struggle? It's about the guilt when it comes to self-care. Go ahead and type something in and let's kind of dialogue about it a little bit. Hi, Letitia, I see you. As you all are typing, I'll just remind you that, as a society, we're always going after the golden eggs, but you got to take care of the goose, or there are no eggs, right? There are no eggs. So if anybody struggles in that area of self-care because it's tied to guilt, just send me a comment or make a note. Yes, Walter, you're late. You'll have to catch up. We're talking about self-care and how people just aren't very well versed in it. And for some people, I mentioned it has to do with we just never were really modeled, that we should make ourselves a priority, or we just don't see ourselves as a priority. We do for everybody else. We're people pleasers, so we're trying to do for everybody else. Or you're too busy earning a living, or you're too busy taking care of, other inspirations and aspirations. But for a lot of people, it is about the guilt. And so my prayer is that as we just have the conversation, that you'll see first of all, you're not alone, that there are other people that feel that way. And then secondly, that there's nothing that you're taking away from someone else by making a deposit in yourself. You'll be a better mom. You'll be a better teacher. You'll be a better wife. You'll be a better spouse. You'll be a better partner. You'll be a better employee. You'll be a better everything. If you are full and you're giving from a state of fullness versus giving from a state of depletion. And I know in our intellectual mind, we know that, but for some reason, it just doesn't translate. I have a friend that we've been begging for them to get a massage. They work so hard. They do so much, but for some reason, that's just not a priority. It's just not a priority. And, there's so much, a massage sounds like a luxury thing, but there's so much that can be gained through a massage. It's a mind, body, spirit connectivity. It's also, it clears out the toxins in your body. All the stress that is pent up in your body, whether it's through mental stress or physical stress, all that stuff gets worked out of your body in a massage. So if you're watching, get the massage already. Let's see what you guys are saying. Monique says, what's interesting is it depends on what type of self-care I'm doing. I don't feel guilty for working out, but I feel guilty for taking a long shower. I would say, you'll have to tell me, Monique, but I would say that that's probably because that's seen as a luxury. First of all, there are physical benefits to that shower because the steam, right, helps clear you out. I like to spray this eucalyptus spa spray that I got. It just clears you out. The warmth of the water on your body is soothing. It's part of self-soothing. I mean, there's so many great benefits to that outside of, and you're clean. So take your long shower. Donna, you struggle with some of it, but whoa. I lost you guys' comments. You struggle with some of it. Let me see if I can pick up the comment on this side. This would be that unscripted part. Okay, struggle with some of it, but I make it and still learning to make it a point to take time for myself, even if it's just 15 minutes. That's a great point. That it doesn't have to be like, I know I've got all this stuff to do, but I'm going to take out 4 hours of the day for myself because that's not realistic, right? We get that. And so what you got to figure out is, how do I carve out a niche, a little place in there for me to at least do 15 minutes? They say 15-minute power naps are awesome. They say that they work well. My mother, God love her, she'll tell you a power nap for her in the middle of the afternoon It is all right. It sets things all well. So I love that you brought that to the table, Donna. A failure in one area may cause me to self-punish in other areas. Walter, that is actually, you don't know how profound that is. We do that to ourselves. And even as faith folks, I find that we do that to ourselves, even though we know better. It's not tit for tat. So if something doesn't go right in one area, it doesn't mean that you now don't take care of yourself. Something didn't happen right, or you didn't get this done. Now that means that you don't take care of yourself. And let's put that on the table so that we can annihilate that right now. There's nothing that we can do or ever do that, first of all, we can't recover from in some shape, form, or fashion. And then secondly, you learn from it and you move forward. You do better next time. You know better, you do better. But you punishing yourself is not going to help you do better. It's not going to even help you get something better out of that situation that you just dealt with. And so let's just go ahead and eliminate that and say that there's no, again, this is stuff we understand intellectually, but when we start dealing with the disconnect between here and here, we feel like I owe it to that situation that I messed up not to enjoy this, or not to take care of that, or not to, and we got to just get out of that, because that's not helping anyone. That's not helping anyone. I was thinking about, for those of you familiar with some stories in a book called the Bible, after David's baby died and it was mourning, after mourning time was over, he stopped mourning. And he went and he got himself back together because the time for mourning was over. So just like there are things in our life that die, there are situations in our life that die, there are relationships and things in our life that die, there are circumstances in our life that don't go the way we want. After it has happened, you punishing yourself is not going to make it change. It's not going to make, and really, you think you're making yourself feel better, but you're taking more out of yourself than you're really giving. So something about that, I'm going to put a pin in that. That's good, Walter. I'm glad you brought that to the table. Dadey says, you're right about the massage. I just started getting them on a monthly basis. Yes, they're everything. I have to try to make myself go. I find, here's the thing. You have to put you on your schedule, just like you schedule your dental appointments, just like you schedule your doctor's appointments, just like you schedule all these other things. You have to put you on your calendar. And, even if you don't want people to see, like, I'm going to get a massage, whatever you need that to be, code it out so you know what that is. SC. Yeah, I've got an appointment with SC. They don't need to know that's self-care. Just I got a standing appointment at such and such time with SC. Self-care. See how that works. Letitia says, putting other people that I love in my family before myself. Letitia, I would tell you that probably 99% of the people on the line right now with us are feeling that same thing, because that's what being a good person's about, right? Sharing your heart, taking care of others, making sure other people's needs are met, making sure that you're giving your best to every circumstance and situation, especially to the people you love. But the people you love, if they really love you, they get it. That you have to do something for yourself, that you have to be able to make yourself a priority, or there's no taking care of them. I'm looking at a bunch of folks that are on here now that I know are caregivers. And here's what's sad. If you go and you look at some statistics on caregivers and you look at some of the studies that they've done on the health and well-being of caregivers, there are so many cases where caregivers actually decline in health as the ones they were caring for incline. So the caregivers go on the decline while those they're caring for get better. So what's wrong with that picture? A lot. There's even been cases where people have died taking care of other people. So you see what I'm saying? We have to figure out that balance. We have to be okay with saying that I am a priority. that what happens to me affects everything else. There's not one thing an empty pitcher can pour out. Let's see what else you guys are talking about over here. Thanks for the love and kisses. I see him. Hi, Randy Little, my ex-TV husband. Good to see you. Yes, you like that, Patrick? SC, just a standing appointment with SC. That's self-care, and then you never have to worry about it. When it comes to, I gave you that Jim Rohn quote about our self-worth equaling our net worth. One of the things that I think is important to think about is to see how things stack. So your confidence stacks on top of your self-worth and your self-esteem, but you're fueled by your self-care. So all of those things that help you achieve, that help you have the drive you need, the motivation you need, all those things that you need to put in your power pack to pursue your purpose are based on your ability to take care of yourself. We all know this. I don't care what kind of vehicle you drive. If you don't change the oil and you don't put fuel in it, you'll be sitting on the side of the road. Or you tear up your engine. Or all the above. So why don't we get it when it comes to our bodies, our minds, and our spirits? And it's not just about one area. I like, Monique, what you said about, mind, body, and spirit, different areas you're okay with giving yourself attention toward, for instance, working out, but taking a long shower, now you feel a little guilty. And I bet if we, kind of went around the room, it's a different area for everyone. I remember, now this is sad. This is sad. It's been many years, but I remember. I was transitioning out of one job into another, and I was so used to working that the very first day that I had a full day off from that job, when I left that job, I wanted to take a nap. I was exhausted. I think I was mentally exhausted, but I was also physically exhausted. And I just thought, wow, it's 2:00, but I just really need a nap. And do you know that this gush of guilt rose up in me? Like, you can't take a nap at 2:00 in the afternoon. You need to be doing this. You need to do this. You need to get that together. You need to get those papers together. You need to get that. You need to send that out. And I thought, you would have thought there were like 18 taskmasters behind me. That's what it felt like. And I had to check myself. Can you believe that? I had to check myself and say, first of all, you're a grown woman. Secondly, you need a nap, take a nap. So what I hope you all will do is you'll check yourself. So Monique, when you're taking that long shower, and any other of you who, identify with her story that she shared, if you're doing something for yourself and you don't feel it, you feel that gush of guilt rise up, and you don't feel that ease and peace that you should have in taking care of yourself, check yourself and talk it out. Why am I feeling like this? Nobody's around. Nobody's looking. I'll get this done. Stay present, stay in that moment, and enjoy that time. Because you can't redeem, once that moment's gone, once your ability to have that 15-minute break is gone, it's gone. So allow that gift of time to be spent on something that's meaningful, something important. That's you. Dady says, we've been conditioned to feel guilty for engaging in self-care. It's not really a true judgment-free zone, right? Absolutely. But here's my concern. My concern is how do we change that? Think about this. It's not just about what you're doing with your day. It's about the stressors. Just like they said, when you go outside, you're not even doing anything, but free radicals are attacking your face. And so you have to, wash your face and cleanse your face and do all these things because free radicals, they're attacking your face. And you don't even know it. Well, just think about all of the hullabaloo and stress in our country and different cities you live in and different things going on, from shootings in schools to all these different things. Just think about how those things impact us. Every time you watch the news and you hear you're taking hits, Every time you hear something happen to somebody, and it doesn't even have to be somebody you know, but just that there's discord, and you're taking hits, 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 and you don't even realize the tension rising up in your body, that your mind is racing, that you don't sleep well at night, whether you're not getting enough sleep or the quality of your sleep is not what you need to sustain you. All of these things are important. All of these things count. It's crazy out there. And we have to be willing to say, you know what? Self-care, we're going to make it a priority. If you're just joining us, we are talking about self-care today. Self-care, making yourself a priority. Why? Because without you, there's no you. You know, there's a great quote that says, be the change you want to see in the world. You guys have heard that, be the change you want to see in the world. Well, how are we going to do that if we're limping either, physically, spiritually, or mentally, dragging, beat down, busted? How are we going to be the change we want to see? How are we going to impact the world for the better? How are we going to help give our kids something, that models a well-rounded life? How are we going to give them what they deserve? Because if we didn't see it modeled, and we weren't taught, Daddy, as you said, how to manage self-care with peace and dignity and authority and confidence, then what are we doing for our kids? We often lie to ourselves and say that there's just not enough time for self-care. Absolutely, Walter. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, Michelle, I see you. Yeah, well, that's because if we have been trained that on your list of things to do, put everyone else up here first. Thanks for the hearts. I see you. Love, love, love. Make everybody else a priority. Make everything else they need a priority. And then way down here somewhere in the bottom in really teeny tiny lettering, if you can stick you in there, then you do that. But that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So before I gave you a long list of things to do and, try, because I can, as a coach, that's what I do. I work with people to figure out their personal plan for attacking these things. But I really just felt like guilt was the number one thing that was a common thread for many of us. Whether it's like me, you wanted to take that nap, you felt guilty. Monique shared she wanted to jump in the shower and stay a little bit longer, but felt guilty. Whatever that thing is, we got to do better. So I just want to ask you guys to take a moment, take a second, boss up. Just think about it this week. It's a brand new week. What can you do this week? One thing. What's one thing you can do to take better care of you this week? Just one thing, and type it in. Hi, Roderick. Type it in, and let's see if we can encourage each other. What's one thing that you can do towards self-care? Marcus says, it's so hard for me to put me first, and physically it's catching up with me. Yep, Marcus, I know you just jumped in, but this is what we've been talking about. This is not a sprint. Life is not a sprint, folks. It is a long distance marathon. I want to have something left at the end of my life. I want to live a quality life for as long as I can live. We're not going to do that if we're raggedy now and we're not making any changes to take better care of ourselves. So we have to figure out a way, small ways and large ways, to make ourselves a priority and not feel bad about it. Because again, you're going to be a better partner, better employee, a better business partner, a better marriage partner, a better relationship partner, a better mother, father, godmother, all of those things, if you bring your best self forward. So let's see what you guys are doing. Hi, Michael. Tamara says she's going to schedule a relaxing massage. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. I'm going to get me a massage. All right. Get that massage. I see 3 up. I tell you what, I'm going to join you. Here's what's sad. You want to hear what's sad? You know how you can go to these places and you have, like, you can get on the recurring plan. I have like 2 or 3 massages just sitting, waiting for me to come in. So I'm going to join you and I'm going to get a massage. Patrick's in on the massage club. Dadie says she's going to be consistent getting up and going to the gym. You feel better when you do. That's awesome. That's something that I've been doing for the Wednesday will make 2 weeks. For those of you on iWatch, for your activity circles, you know, your move, your exercise, and your standing goals, I've been closing my rings every day since I started this boot camp journey. So keep me lifted in prayer. Walter says he's going to spend 10 minutes complimenting myself. That's awesome. You know, people think stuff like that doesn't work, but it really does. If you ever did any of those experiments in school, do you remember when you were in school? Thanks for the hearts and the love. Do you remember when you were in school and you would take something living like a plant or, oh, I wish I had that picture I could show you. Can I put that? I don't have it in. I'll have to put the picture up where water was frozen under the stimulus of like really chaotic noises, like scraping metal and all that kind of stuff, and water was frozen. And then under, you know, serenity sounds and compliments and things like that. And the water that was frozen under the sounds of, like, you know, scratching metal and all that stuff, it looks creepy. The water turned yellowish, like dark orangish yellowish, and it's all knotted up looking. And the other water that was frozen under, you know, sounds of serenity and compliments, and formed a like a snowflake, like a crystal, like a beautiful crystal. Now, think about this. What part of our body is water? How much of us is water? 89, 90%, right? Even our dry bones, 36% of that's water. So just think about all the external stimulus, what that's doing to us we don't even realize it. And sometimes it does show in our face. And sometimes it does show in our bones and our aching and our pains and all of these things. Hi, Brenda. Good to see you. Just think about that. I'm going to share that next time because that blew me away. When I saw the effects, because water is fluid. It's like us, right? And we're made up of water. When you see how that worked, I said, there's definitely something to be said for that. So complimenting yourself is a great thing. I like to take a power 10 minutes in the morning. I like to start with priming. It's a breathing exercise. It comes out of a yoga tradition, but it's just about breathing and getting oxygen to your brain. I like to take 2 minutes in meditation, whether it's gratitude meditation or whether it's just focusing for the day and putting myself in a good headspace. My alarm song when I get up is funny, so it doesn't make me mad when it goes off. You probably heard it on the phone commercial, but the lyrics say, don't bring that bad day with you, leave it at the door. So when it goes off, I'm like, what? And then it says, don't bring that bad day with you, leave it. And I start laughing. So I just do these little things to bring myself joy. And then I brought my tea set to work. So now in the middle of the day, I could just put a cup in the microwave and just, do tea. But there's something about having a tea time for me. That's self-care for me. It's meditative. It's cathartic. I can kind of just chill out. The smell of the tea is all in the room. These are the things that work for me. Let's see what you guys are saying. Another important part of taking care of you is learning to say no, yes, and feel okay about it. And still working on that. 71 years young, working. You know what? It's so hard for me to believe, Brenda, that you are 71. You are amazing. amazing woman and you look amazing. But no, saying no. I have a whole video that I'll share a part of on one of these one day that just deals with the art of saying no. There's so many ways you can say it. And being able to put up those boundaries. Because self-care really is about a boundary. And we haven't been taught about boundaries, around certain things. We're, staunch about, we're just like, dogmatic about it. But other things, we're not great with it. But I love, Brenda, that you brought that up, that boundary. Even if that boundary is, no, I'm not going to pick up this phone for the next 15, 20 minutes. No, I'm not going to check my email at 3:00 in the morning. Who's guilty of that? Who right now, type in, give me an emoji or something if you're guilty of rolling over and picking up your phone and checking your Facebook, your Instagram, your mail, something. Tell the truth. Give me the white hot truth on that. Regina says, love to breathe and meditate in the morning. So important to your day. Yep. That sounds like part of what I enjoy about my morning meditations. You just need 15 or 20 minutes. Yep. Of doing completely nothing. Yep. Boundaries are key. Yep. I see you, Marcus. I see one truth teller. Oh, okay. Donna's come through. I've done it. I mean, this is not condemnation. Yep. I see you, Regina. This is not about condemnation. At some point or another, you heard that bing bong and you rolled over and you picked up that phone. Why? Oh, why? Hell no, I'm sleeping. Hilarious, Drew. That's great. And so that's what I love about the phone. Jennifer, I see you side-eyeing it. That's what's funny to me in church also. That's funny, Marcus. What's great now, I don't know how it works on the Android, but on the iPhone, you can set that do not disturb. So between the hours of such and such and such and such, it's just not going to ping. It's just not going to go off. And you can even set it for if you get a recurring call back to back, as if, if there's an emergency situation, somebody was calling you over and over. If you get a call back to back, it will go through those types of things. So you never have to feel like that. I see you, Tim. I see you, Patrick. Regina, I've been told to put my phone in another room. Yep, for better sleep. Absolutely. All of those things matters. You guys, here's what's great about a social media community. We just help remind each other what we really know in here and what we know in here. Some things are common sense, but some things that seem to be common sense aren't common to us. Not because you're dumb or not because you're stupid, not because of any of that stuff, not because anything it's not going to be in you if it's not a habit that you've practiced. We've talked about before that, your experiences, those are the things that shape your thoughts then shape your feelings then shape your decisions then form your actions over and over and over and over again become habits, and habits lead you to a certain destination. So what you're doing now is what you've been practicing forever. If you want to go back, you got to rewind that whole thread back, and you got to start thinking different thoughts, making better decisions that will take you to better outcomes. And I am so enjoying what? Let me find that. I don't know which part you're talking about. But anyway, I want to just insert here a little clip from my friend, a former client of mine, actually coaching client of mine, who has gone on and is become a holistic life coach, and she's done very well in that area. And I was just talking to her today about giving you all some enthusiasm and encouragement in this area of self-care. So let's take a little listen from Miss Monique.
Hello. Monique Arpagon is here. I am a holistic lifestyle coach, and I help my clients go from feeling like zombies to feeling young, vibrant, and free. I most importantly am a wife, a mom of 2 boys. I have my 2-month-old here. I also have a 2-year-old, well, he's turning 2 next week. And I also have a dog. I have a rabbit. I work from home. I stay at home. And I mention these things because self-care, which is what we're talking about tonight, is something that I have to implement on a consistent basis every single day in my life. And I'm constantly giving to my tribe here, and and I deplete myself every single day. I'm depleting myself, and so I also have tools to replenish myself every single day. And I use these words deplete and replenish strategically here because my tip for you today is how to keep your tank full for longer, and that is to have a routine. Have a routine of those things that you need to do every single day, and have some self-care in there as well as a routine. So for example, what that looks like for me. As soon as the nanny comes, I'm drinking my pre-workout juice. I am working out after that, and then I'm drinking my post-workout shake. So I have that that's on clockwork. Like, I don't have to think about it. I'm doing this. And because I don't have to think about it, because I don't have to make the decision to do that, that is not something that depletes my willpower. That's actually replenishing me, because 1, it's something that I want to do. 2, it's fueling my body, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about it because I've added into my routine. So those things that you can automate will help you keep your tank full for longer. And yes, it's going to take some time to automate something, to create a new habit. But once that is a new habit, it'll be just like brushing your teeth, okay? That's how you replenish your willpower. You do something for yourself, by yourself, and don't think about it too much. It's going to be different things for different people, but it's so important to know what things to grab, to know what fuels you, what replenishes you on a deep level. And that's the conversation you have to have with yourself. That's the conversation you can have with the coach. When I coach my clients, I always tell them that you know your body better than I do, but I am here to help you pull things out that you might not have had in the forefront of your brain.
Awesome share. So glad you did that, Monique. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. You guys see her information there. If you're interested in following her and learning more about what she does, she is awesome. This has been a great talk, guys. I think that, and ladies, I'm trying to get out of that guys thing, that this has been a great talk. So if I had to share anything else tonight, just in the way of self-care, I would say this. There's a couple of things that I know if you add them to your list of things that you already promised yourself you were going to do this week, that will help. And one of them is stop overthinking. Some things, it is what it is. Stop overthinking. The second thing is give yourself some grace and space to take care of yourself. You don't have to be Wonder Woman. You don't have to be Superman. Allow yourself some grace to take care of yourself. Stop pushing. Just give and practice more acceptance, self-acceptance. Be still. Find times in your day, whether it's 10 minutes, start with 5. If you got to work your way up, just take some time to be still. Be still. Don't compare yourself to others, what they're doing, what you think they're doing, whatever that is. Run your race. Run your race. And cherish people that pour into you. It's funny that we don't often cherish the people that actually are trying to pour into us. Listen when they tell you, hey, slow down a little bit. Hey, try that. Cherish the people that are trying to pour into you, because that's a part of filling your pitcher too. Love you, value you, respect you. Understand that without you, we don't survive. the world doesn't become what it needs to become. The purpose that you were placed here to perform only that unique way you can do it doesn't get done if there's no you. So take better care of you. Thanks to everyone just joining. We're getting ready to wrap it up. Marcus, I'm glad you found that Do Not Disturb on the iPhone. It will change your life. It is everything. Love you all so much. Thanks for sharing some time with me. Every Monday night, 9 p.m., I'll be here. Interviews, different things we'll be doing. So I look forward to hearing your feedback. Drop me an inbox, messages, excuse me. If you want to contact me with questions or comments, or you'd like to share something on a future show, here's where you find me, JanetteSmith.com. You can drop me an email there. You can call me, leave me a message. If it needs calling back, I'll do that. If not, it's just something you want to share. Terrific. Would love to hear from you. Just know that I always monitor that, and so I will always respond. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate you. You all are pretty awesome. And have a great night. As always, I'd like to remind you that I love you to life, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing you can do about it. All right. Have a good one.